Jared Leto is returning to the DC Extended Universe. He will be joining Zack Snyder's Justice League in the reshoot process that's taking place right now. Originally, when the Snyder Cut was announced at DC Fandom, I believe it was, we were under the presumption that this would be a $30 million project to basically finish up the special effects and redo coloring on scenes that went unfinished. Basically, everything that was left over that wasn't used for the theatrical release of the Justice League film when Joss Whedon had to take over. That's not the case anymore. They've upped the budget to $70 million so that they can go and shoot all new footage, including new footage. Ben Affleck is returning to shoot new footage. Amber Heard is returning as Mira to shoot new footage.
Boo.
Yes. That's a topic for another day.
Who is Amber Heard?
That's
No. Sorry, I know who she is.
You know who she is.
Who was she in the universe?
She was the Queen of Atlantis.
Mera.
Aquaman's wifey.
Aquaman's main squeeze.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
But either way, we're not talking about her today.
We're not.
She sucks.
We are talking about the return of Jared Leto's Joker. And, of course, I understand that the take is controversial, to say the least. And I...
That's why we laughed. That's his
your
Joker
best.
laugh.
Oh yeah, he did have that. He did have that kind of broken cackle.
Yes. So, with his casting, it is a chance for a bit of not just necessarily redemption, but addition. It was tough for me personally to judge an actor and his portrayal of a character when there was only maybe 10 minutes of total screen time. For someone that was billed as a major part of the story, I knew he wasn't going to be. How can you have Joker be your main villain in Suicide Squad when you haven't really introduced him in the rest of this universe? I knew this, but the general audience did not. So they were disappointed with the fact that, one, Jared Leto was barely there, and two, that they didn't quite like his approach to the Joker character. And I always felt that it was a little unfair, especially when you're comparing to that of, say, Joaquin Phoenix, who got an entire movie devoted to his character. He was in almost every single frame of that movie. Then he goes on to win the Oscar. It's an unfair comparison to say which Joker was better. I mean, you look at Heath Ledger's Joker, and that also won award recognition, but that was also meant to absolutely take the character and turn it on its head for cinematic purposes. And it's unfair to compare it to Jack Nicholson because that was meant to be a stereotypical comic book version of the character in most ways. So what I like about Jared Leto coming back is that we can get a bit more of a reason to put him on the where does he rank in the Joker conversation. I personally am not someone that likes to rank the Joker character among interpretations, but I respect other people who feel that they want to do that. And I'm hoping that there's enough footage to elevate or add to the conversation of where Jared Leto falls, rather than everyone just throwing him on the bottom because he only had 10 minutes of screen time. What I would love for Jared Leto's return to this role, I would at least love for him to have an interaction with Ben Affleck's Batman. In my mind, that would be the definitive way to judge how he is as a Joker, because as far as this recording goes, yes, he and Batman were involved in the same sequence in Suicide Squad, but they didn't actually physically interact. Batman was stuck on top of Joker's car while he was on some kind of highway chase. That's not a real interaction. So I would love to see Ben Affleck and Jared Leto actually have a scene together. Even if, you know, if Joker's in prison or whatever, and they're just having a talk-to-talk or whatever, I feel like that would be the definitive way to decide where Joker from the DC Extended Universe lies for me. You could also have him be featured at the post-credits mark with the rest of the Injustice League that Lex Luthor was trying to put together with Deathstroke at the end of the theatrical cut of Justice League, which, again, I'm still here for that. I would love a Justice League sequel to feature the Injustice League because, personally, I don't hate Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, but again, that's another conversation for another day. So, I think this is a good thing for the DC Extended Universe, so that they can go back, by using the Snyder cut of the Justice League, go back, see what elements can work for their shared universe, because it's apparent that they were stepping away from the shared universe model, which has worked out for Aquaman, certainly Wonder Woman, and maybe not so much for Birds of Prey, but they were still telling good stories with that, and Shazam. And of course, it's the multiverse theory is working out well for DC right now because Joker made a bunch of money, and with the upcoming Flash movie, they're bringing in Michael Keaton's Batman from 1989. So they're working in this multiverse angle. And it would be nice to have all representations of characters involved in this extended universe and utilizing every bit of media out there for DC. So I am here for Jared Leto's return to Joker. I'm sure many of you are like, oh no, I don't want more of this. But I'm here for it because I would love to get more of a definitive answer as to where he lies on the history of Joker. Is he in fact a good Joker? Is he in fact a bad Joker? I can't tell based off of 10 minutes. Maybe if I got 15, maybe 5 minutes total with the Snyder Cut, maybe that'll help me out a little more. That's my take on it. Anyone have any thoughts on Jared Leto's return?
Did he, like, draw his ha-has on himself? Because, like, those look really bad.
Well, the idea is that he self-tattooed himself.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure some of the tattoos were meant to be he went to somebody, but I'm sure something with the ha-has, I'm sure he just did it himself. Like, this is a psychotic Joker. This is not necessarily a criminal mastermind. This is a Joker who loves chaos for the sake of chaos, not to prove a point, not to bring attention to a certain problem that's going on in the world. He's doing it because it brings him so much joy. And that Joker hasn't really been seen in the vast mediums of moviedom. Cesar Romero's Joker was just meant to be a clown. Mark Hamill's was very sadistic and punchliney, and Jack Nicholson's was just flashy. But this Joker's meant to be just a psychotic nut. Like, if you get in a room one-on-one with him, obviously you'd be scared anytime you're with the Joker, but this is a Joker you do not want to get in a room with one-on-one because he will destroy you.
Honestly, I'd be into it, so...
You're also into minion thirst traps, so...
Stop! Good lord, listen, I can't help my minion thirst traps. They do well.
So anyway, if anyone has any thoughts on Jared Leto's recasting and announcement for returning to the DC universe, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Barney, do you have any thoughts on... obviously, you haven't seen much of the DC stuff, so I understand that.
Yeah, I still haven't seen Suicide Squad even. But I mean, I'm with you as far as I think someone like Jared Leto deserves a little more time at least.
I mean, the guy's an Oscar winner. It's not like he's a hack.
Yeah, he's a great actor, so I'd love to see him be given a bit more of a fair shot at it. I'm just really taken aback by the fact that they're spending so much money on trying to fix this, and I don't know if they're going to see a return on that. You know, I don't know if they expect a return on that either.
Because it's meant for streaming.
But, yeah, that's just interesting. It's just so much money.
What they're hoping to do is use this as a means of getting new subscribers the day that part 1 of the Snyder Cut drops. Because again, they're releasing this as a 4-part miniseries to start, and then it will be released after that as one long theatrical cut. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be 4 hours, but... they are releasing 4 parts to start as a result of all this. So we'll see. We'll see if there is some kind of return. I think Warner Brothers' idea is they'll get new subscribers the day that this material drops. This is their draw to get new subscribers.
I'm sure they will. I just don't know.
That's where the money return would come in.
Yeah, but I don't feel like they're going to make that much money. That's what I'm saying. So there has to be some kind of calculated loss.
Yes. I would counter argue for the sake of conversation. When Shazam was being, or not so much Shazam, but maybe it was Birds of Prey. Either way, one of those two films. When those films were being promoted, someone actually went out of their way to buy billboard space in Times Square to release the Snyder Cut. So as far as the fan base and potential money involved, this was always going to hover over the DC film properties.
Right.
So I think, quite frankly, they're doing this as a way to clean the slate so that way people can kind of shut up about it.
Yeah.
But I'm totally here for it. I liked the theatrical cut that came out, but I'm also a little more forgiving of films, superhero films especially.
I definitely will watch the Snyder cut myself. I'm intrigued to see that, having not seen the original, so I'd like to see that with fresh eyes and see, you know, it'd be interesting to see how that looks through.
I like I said before, what I would love, and I don't want to necessarily get my expectations up too high because this is kind of unprecedented what they're doing. This has never been done to this scale before, but I would love to get Jared Leto and Ben Affleck have some kind of interaction with each other, because that is where the magic of Joker takes place. True. His relation to Batman.
True.
And as of right now, he's been separated for all this time. So
Crossover had a couple of thoughts in chat. He said, "All I can say is I hope Jared Leto does not act like a wacko on set again." That was
maybe he's learned from that.
Yeah, and
I doubt it, but you never know.
I mean, you know, he's just like, but.
I heard mixed reports about that, and I don't know how much of that is just playing into a marketing thing.
He's just a method actor. That's something me as a fellow like actress, and like, you know, that's something I don't really understand. Is like, you know, like being the Joker, being the Joker, and like throwing dead rats at your co-stars. Like, I get it, you're Joker, you're big and bad, but like, don't.
Puts you in character.
I guess what I didn't like is that they were using Jared Leto's method acting as a means, to your point, Barney, of marketing the movie, as trying to hype it up. Like, look at what this insane actor is doing to the cast members. Go see this movie. That, to me, is very disrespectful of the creative process. So I was never actually okay with that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to read about this stuff after the fact, but not 2 months before the movie comes out.
Yeah, it was kind of, they kind of shot themselves in the foot there. Again, it depends how much of that was intentional. Oh, wrong one.
Bye.
How much of that was intentional and how much of it was just sort of a bad situation that just got a little out of hand. You know, I don't know.